Welcome in, everybody. Kit Nagy here for Nagy on Sports, bringing you a pregame analysis for the Indianapolis Colts. Unfortunately, my partner in crime, Phil, is unable to join us. He had a bout with some food poisoning last night and was really not feeling too well today, so I needed to make this video in order to get it out to you guys here by myself. So I'm going to do that, and hopefully we'll be able to cover some of the keys and some of the importance of what we should look for in this game to be able to figure out. Hopefully we'll win, but if we can do some of these things, then we should see a good outcome here, and what should turn out to be hopefully very much a statement game for the Browns here in Week 5 against the Indianapolis Colts. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit about the offensive keys to this game. So first, I think it starts with protecting Hunt, and what I mean by that is really not exposing him too much. We really should change the running back recipe, if you will, to more of a running back by committee. We want to see a lot of action from D'Ernest Johnson and Dontrell Hilliard, as well as Hunt, and try to limit Hunt's touches of the ball to maybe 20 or less. And really, that's an investment not only in this game, but more importantly down the road in further games, so that while Chubb is out, we still have hopefully protecting Hunt and keeping him from getting injured, because it would really hurt to have both of them out. Not to mention the fact that Dontrell Hilliard and D'Ernest Johnson, both of those guys can be, as we saw in Dallas, very productive in the rushing game, especially because this offensive line is just playing lights out. They are really quite good this year, and if we're running behind that line, we can make kind of the lesser running backs look really good in this system. Secondly, we need to avoid third and greater than 6. If we're 5 or less on our third downs in this, sustaining our drives, keeping the clock running with our ground control and dominating the offensive game plan. If we get that first down, second down gets us, 4 yards, or 3 yards, 7 yards, or some 2 yards, 5 yards, keeping ourselves in that third and short-ish range. Is going to be much easier for us to capitalize on those shorter downs, and especially because we don't have as much of the explosive offense with Nick Chubb being out. That should hopefully help us to be converting those downs, keeping the clock running, and kind of play ball control in this game, which is going to be important for us against a very stingy defense. And lastly, we need to capitalize on turnovers and in the red zone, just like we've been doing all along. When we get those turnovers, when we get into the red zone, we need to capitalize. We need to get points, preferably 7 points. Our scheme, our game plan has really been very productive on that front so far, and we need to continue to do so. I think there are going to be opportunities in this game in both turnovers and red zones, and in the red zone. So we should be able to see that this weekend. And if we see that tomorrow, then we definitely need to capitalize on the offensive side and play that complementary football that the Browns have been playing so well to this point. So on to the defense here. So first, the defense needs to collapse the pocket. They need to make Rivers uncomfortable, especially make him move. He's not known for his movement skills. He likes to stand in the pocket kind of like a statue. And if we can get him moving, that can lead to good things for us, like turnovers, and also hopefully keeps Miles' strip sack streak alive, which would be really awesome to see. The guy's just been dominant so far this season. He's making a huge case for himself as a Defensive Player of the Year up through the first quarter, and potentially, he's even getting some waves on the MVP front. So if he continues this pace and continues, and sees another strip sack in this one, then potentially we'll get some more buzz on that front. But collapsing the pocket and bringing that D-line in this game and get them going is really going to make a big difference for us here in this one, because I think that as quickly as Rivers can get the ball out of his hands, he is vulnerable to giving up the turnovers for either the fumble or for bad throws when the pressure's coming. So next, I think we need to play that gap sound disciplined defense. We need to deny the rush game for these guys. If we can shut down the running game force them to pass, that's really going to help us a lot. We've been very stingy in our run defense this year. If we continue to do that with our gap sound and disciplined defense, that could really be a big advantage for us in this one, because, you know, Rivers is an older quarterback. He has lost, especially on the outside of the numbers, he's lost some of his touch. He's not nearly as good outside of the numbers. He's very productive underneath, and then in the middle intermediate range, he's very good with to tight ends and to backs. But if we're playing that, if we're taking away the rushing game and forcing him to rely on the passing game, that really kind of takes away from their ability to do much in this offense. And then to go along with that, my last key here is to eliminate Mo Cox. He's been a dominant tight end, very big tight end, very good receiver for Rivers, and especially over the middle. He likes to go to his tight ends, like I said. So if we can take him away, if we can take away T.Y. Hilton on the outside, then there's a lot of, who else do they have outside of that, really? I mean, they have some other players, but they're not quite the threats that those guys potentially could be. And we can really stall this defense or this offense out, potentially force 3 and outs. And then at that point we can really be asking Rivers to beat us with his arm, which, you know, the older quarterbacks without as much touch on their ball and quite as much accuracy as they might once have had, that's the place where we can really win. So overall, 3 things that we really need to do here. We need to play complementary football like we've been doing. We need to make sure that we have a solid game plan and make solid adjustments in the game, which we've been doing all year as well. So I've been pretty pleased with that, but we got to continue that in this one. And then don't let off the gas this time. We saw that against Dallas. That almost got us into trouble against Dallas. Luckily, we found a way to win that game, and that was very important for us. But this time, let's not take our foot off the gas in the first place, and I think we'll be in really good shape. I think this can be a very big statement game for the Browns. I think we're going to have a bit of a coming out party if this goes the way I hope it will. I think that this defense that we're playing is being highly rated, but they really haven't played anybody particularly great. The Vikings, you could say, is their best team that they've played so far, but the Vikings offense really hasn't been that great, especially their O-line hasn't been playing particularly well. So I think that they're a bit overrated on the defensive side, and I think our offense has really proven itself more so than their defense has, and I think that gives us an opportunity, especially with some of the injuries that they have. So I'm going to pick in this one, the Browns are going to win, and I'm going to pick us to win pretty big, 31-13 for the Browns, especially if we can stick to some of these keys, get our offensive rolling, and get that defense, that opportunistic defense going. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time, and as always, go Browns!